Welcome back, everybody, as we're live at Okayama International Circuit with some eFormula series, eFormula V series racing tonight. The racing here has not failed us yet, as we got some quick drivers. I'll tell you what, it's got to be good to be a Thomas in this series. We got two Thomases at the top. We got Thomas Smalling and Thomas Stowers. Stowers at the top, both real close in times with a 101.53 and a 101.54 in qualifying, as we got about a little less than 5 minutes left to qualifying. I'll tell you what, these guys were struggling to get into the ones in practice. Somehow they found it here in qualifying. It's amazing the little stuff that these guys will find along the way. Right now we're on board with Scott. Scott trying to put down a time. Currently third quickest with a 101.87. Can he pick up on that lap time? Definitely looking quick here tonight. And fourth place we got Kevin. Kevin's gonna have a breakthrough race here soon. I don't know if that's the right paint for Kevin or not. Oh yeah, I think that's the same one we saw last week. I'm not sure. I've been having issues with my trading paints. I guess they said my files might be full. We're going to find out. We got, who's over on Facebook right now? Say hello. Say hello, guys. So we're getting ready to go racing for the sprint race here in about 3.5 minutes here tonight. Mark trying to put down a faster time. Mark up to third quickest with a 101.67. I didn't see that. He definitely picked up. These guys are getting faster and faster here tonight. Should be some good racing. But man, those two Thomases, they're quick at the top of the chart together. Can Mark or Scott find a way to get a little bit more speed and give them a little competition here? Be interesting to find out. Justin out here in that 77. He's currently 7th on the chart. Looks like we got 12 people in here. I don't know if everybody's still in the race or not, but we're gonna find out here soon, I guess. Or if they're gonna grid up and start at the back and try and work their way up. Get that practice. A lot of these guys, some of these guys, they don't run road courses all the time, so some of them will sit in the back and try and just learn. I mean, they're not trying to win. They know they can't win yet. Get that seat time, get better. Hopefully by the end of the season, you're up front trying to battle for wins. I mean, that's a lot of it here. That is a lot of it. Is Mark Mark loses the back end. Marcellus loses the back end of that number 61 going into the turn there. A lot of times they'll play with different things like downshifting and other stuff. It just doesn't work. You lose the back end. I don't know if that's what Marcellus did there, but that's definitely a common thing you see. The 39 of Scott, he stuffed it up in the wall. Definitely trying to push it for some extra time here in practice, trying to figure out some way to get up there with the Thomases, as everybody's sitting about 0.2 of a second or more behind them in times right now. 10 people have taken times. About 2.5 minutes left in qualifying here. Smalling out there getting some more laps. Can he improve on his time? Does he have enough time to improve on his time? He should have enough time to at least put down one lap before they end qualifying. Let's see what kind of lap time he can put down here. That number 44 is looking fast today. So we got one turned around. Oh, that's still Scott. Scott's just kind of hanging out over there, I guess. I think this lap won't count right here. I think this is his warm-up lap because I think he just got out. So he's got enough time to complete one lap. Try and improve on that 101.53. I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it, but I definitely noticed these things get faster as those tires get warmer. They gain more grip. They're able to do more. And a lot of it with these Formula V's is just a lot of momentum. And the longer you run, the more momentum you kind of get. And that actually helps them pick up some speed here. Be interesting to see if he can top that 101.53 with just one good lap. Those tires have to be slick right now. Oh, and he loses it. Loses it there. As that's the end of qualifying. Let's go to the starting grid for qualifying here tonight. We got Thomas Smalling with a 101.531 on the pole in that number 44. Stowers and the 211 starting second. Marcellus in the 61 starting third. Scott in the 39 starting fourth. Kevin in the 23 starting fifth. Mark Crawford in the 5 starting sixth. Justin in the 77 starting seventh. And Juan, that's a lot of sevens. Maybe that's good luck for him tonight. Juan in the 191 starting eighth. Spencer in the 29 starting ninth. David in the 08 starting 10th. Bill Sleep in the 101 starting 11th. And Jasmine Beach in the 444 starting 12th. Should be a good little sprint race here. Real excited to see how this one goes. Smalling, he's going to be starting this one up at the front. We're going to watch these guys come at us. Trying to find the best view. I think I like this TV number 2. We'll go ahead and watch it from here as we're going to wait for these guys to go green flag racing. We're going to do our little scroller across the top because it tells us how much time we got. I don't know why it's counting time down now, but it is. Getting ready. As it looks like everybody who's going to grid up is gridded up here. Green flag is out as you watch them smoke their tires, getting it going. Thomas and Thomas side by side, going down the straightaway. Who's going to get it through turn 1? It looks like it's going to be Stowers. He's going to go ahead and grab that first position as Smallings is on his heels. It's kind of weird that the pole sitter starts where they do here, but I guess that's odd. Because really it gave Stowers the better starting position. Oh, we got one around in the back. In the back, it looks like it was Juan. Juan turns it around in that turn there. Cold tires are brutal here. Got to make no mistakes. As we've seen them at this track, these cold tires, it's real easy to get turned around. As Smallings is trying to dig in on Stowers. Down the straightaway through this turn. Can they keep it straight? Got to complete lap number 1. Oh, we got one turned around. It looks like it's... No, it wasn't Kevin. Who was it? It was Spencer Pete in the 29. Gets turned around further in the back of the pack. Almost creamed by Juan. As it looks like Smallings is closing that gap. Let's go ahead and pull up our little battle box here. As we can see the time. Marcel is definitely picking up the pace and race trim here. He's 7/10 off from the leader. Smalling is 0.25 off from the leader. These guys probably aren't really pushing it right now as hard as they can. Let these tires come in. You'll get faster as you go, as they definitely showed it here. Go back up to this lead battle. The Thomases are slowly pulling away from Marcellus, and that lead is staying pretty steady from first to second. Oh, one way out wide. That looks like it might have been Mark Crawford. Shoots it out wide. Good thing they had a little extra track there for him, as he's battling hard for that number 5 position. So the top 5 are inverted. If he gets put in, if you get that 5th position, you end up getting the pole for the feature race. So that position right there means a whole lot. Oh, Justin and Mark both shoot it out a little wide there. As we go back to the battle here for first. Looks like the gap from the leader has grown a little bit. Marcellus definitely picking up the pace. He's closed it down. It's all about consistency. It's all about just keeping a nice steady line, keeping that wheel as straight as possible. No big jerks. I'm sure there's a few big jerks, but I don't think they're in this series. But as they go down the back straightaway, now the draft, or the front straightaway, the draft will play a role here. So these guys are able, if they're close enough to grab the draft, gain on the person in front of them down that straightaway. As Marcellus pulls up on the back end of Smalling, Smalling almost makes a mistake there, probably watching his mirrors. Good turn there for Smalling. Able to pull a little bit away from Marcellus, but they're losing ground on Stowers. Stowers has got the lead. He's got it from the start. Led every lap here so far as we're 11 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this sprint race. Who's going to get it? Let's go. Let's get some excitement here. Let's get some passing. Get up there, Smalling. Let's get some side-by-side racing as they're coming around for another lap completed. Let's see if it tells us how many laps they completed right here. Sometimes it does when we get it on the timer. 4 laps completed so far. As they dive it into turn 1, that lead between these 3 is staying pretty steady. Nobody's really gaining or losing at this point. Can they gain in? Can Marcellus break into that Thomas party in the top 2? What's it going to take to put yourself there? I think it's just going to take good, consistent laps. Who makes the least amount of mistakes? As these guys are all very talented drivers. So I was talking to Thomas Stowers as he runs a lot of those random races with us, and he told me him and Smalling end up in a lot of races together in different places, and they always run each other clean. As you know, I know Smalling does, as he runs on the MDITV team with Southern Grown. But it's always good to hear stuff like that. These guys really respect each other, love racing together as they're closing in on Spencer Pete. Lap car is coming up in front of him. Right now we got this battle for first. It's kind of like a accordion. Like they're spreading out, closing in, spreading out, closing in. Is kind of how this lead looks right now, as each of them pretty much have an equal distance between each of them right now. About 0.3 of a second between each car as there are 9 minutes left to this sprint race. Who's going to make the first move here tonight? Who's going to make it all happen? Smoking them tires, coming down the front straightaway again. In line, all about making no mistakes. Oh, it looked like Spencer Pete had some issues, and I missed it. That's what happened there. As Smalling is looking to the outside of Stowers. Nothing there. Some of that's just to make that person make a mistake. Look where I am. I'm here. Just try to get them to move off their line a little bit. Make a little mistake so you can get up under them in a passing zone. As right now it's a game of follow the leader. And look at Kevin in the background. Kevin trying to close in on these guys. Kevin always seems to find some speed, especially in these races. Smalling getting real close there to Stowers. Is he going to be able to make a move as they go down the front straightaway this time? That's a lot of the time. That's where you'll see them make those moves. All about the exit here on the last turn. Get a good exit. Be able to grab that draft so you can pull out. That straightaway is so wide. It's hard for somebody to block you if you decide to pull out. Right now they're going to stay in line as Marcellus gets around on Thomas. He's going to get up underneath Thomas, and they're side by side for second. Marcellus to the second spot. We got a Marcellus sandwich between 2 slices of Thomas here for the top 3. Marcellus making a beautiful move going on down to turn 1. There's not a whole lot you can do to block that though. When they get that draft, down that straightaway, instead of wrecking both of you almost have to kind of give them the spot. Let's see if Marcellus is able to do anything different with Stowers. As we got about 7 minutes remaining, they're going to come down the straightaway again. Can Smalling make a move back to that second spot? He doesn't exit the last turn as well as I would expect. But he's getting that big run. Is he going to take that run or is he going to stay in line? As they're coming down into turn 1 and 2. Getting real close. And he's going to take it. He's going to try and take second place back here in turn 1. Definitely a lot of room given. Marcellus gets into the gravel. A little sideways. That's going to kill his time there. As he loses a lot of ground on these guys. Drop back 1 second from second place. Will he be able to reel it back in? As Smalling is now 1 second out of first. These guys are definitely trying to dig in on each other. That battle for second was getting heated. Smalling is closing the gap. Marcellus is losing. Without that pressure behind him, will Smalling be able to make a move on the leader before the end of this thing? As we got about 5 minutes and 45 seconds left to this race. Smalling is definitely closing the gap. He's got it within about 7 tenths of a second, almost 6 tenths. As they go down the front straightaway and into turn 1, 6 tenths of a second going into turn 1. Definitely a great battle here for the lead. As Smalling is definitely a little bit quicker right now. Like I said, these tires, I mean, you gain a lot of confidence once you get some grip in these tires. These guys are really putting it down at this point. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure out what their lap times were last time by. Last time by, Smalling was about a tenth quicker than Stowers. Marcellus, wow, Marcellus is way out the pace compared to those front two. He's got to find some speed somewhere because Kevin's gaining on him. Smalling has it about 4 tenths of a second to the lead. He's now getting that draft. That for sure. That draft is going to play a huge role here. As now he's back up to 3 tenths of a second, 2 tenths of a second on the leader. Will Smalling not close enough to make a move yet. Will he set up the pass for the next time through turn 1? We're going to find out here in less than a minute. As Stowers has definitely ran a perfect race here so far. No mistakes. Makes it hard to get around. I mean, you almost got to make a mistake sometimes when you're this close. I mean, these guys are almost identical times every lap. So you got to be asking them to... Oh, Smalling tries to make a move there. I did not expect that. He loses a little bit of ground. As they come through the last turn here in a second, Smalling's going to be too far back to make a move into turn 1 as he's about a half a second back from the leader. Might have overheated his tires a little bit here there. Has to let that grip come back as he's got about 3.5 minutes to do it. 3.5 minutes. I think we're going to get about 3 more laps here. As we got the battle for the lead. Now, essentially on iRacing, this is a heat race, but this is a sprint race is what they call them. I guess in Europe, that's what Marcellus is telling me. They do get points for these sprint races, so even though you win this one, you start 5th, you do grab some points for winning this. As Smalling is digging back in on Stowers. Can he get back there and make that move? These guys are definitely pulling away from 3rd place. About 3.5 seconds. Marcellus has got about half of Kevin knocking on his back door here pretty soon. Oh, Kevin's a little bit farther back. Down the front straightaway, Smalling is definitely close this time. I think he's going to be in a position to make a move. Let's see what he does with this run. He goes to the outside. To the outside in turn 1. Is he going to be able to clear him? Or set up a pass at another turn. Sometimes you can be setting yourself up to make the pass at a later place, and taking that high side makes them look at you different behind. Smalling falls back in line. Nothing on the outside there. as much momentum as you need around this track. It looks like Justin had some issues. Justin's fallen back to 9th position. That moves Scott up into that 5th position. But Mark is on the inside of Scott. Mark's going to take that 5th position. Move Mark up to the 5th position now. That's the last inverted position. That's going to put him on the pole if he can keep it there. As Scott's going to try and dive up underneath them. We're going to go back to the battle to the lead as we're going down the front straightaway. Oh, we might get one more lap here. As Smalling's got to run. He's going to look to the outside again. He's going to look high. You know, the other interesting thing about looking high there is it's probably a little easier on his tires. Cooling them off, he might be able to make a little different move in a different corner because he's not heating his tires up as much. 1 minute and 10 seconds left to this. I think they're going to get one more lap here. They're going to get one more lap here tonight in this in the sprint race. Right now, oh, Kevin, Marcellus has an issue. Marcellus off the track. Let's go see if we can find out. Oh, Marcellus just catches the gravel when he got a little sideways into the wall. It's surprising he's still even able to run right now. But he gets it back out on the track. Smalling to the inside. 1 lap to go in this sprint race. He's going to take the lead in turn 1 on the last lap. What a move by Smalling. Moving himself up to the 1st position. Stowers in that number 44 or in that number 211 can't be happy with that. That's got to suck for him. As he makes a move back on Smalling. Oh, are they all both able to make it through the hairpin? They do. Smalling keeps this position. Heavy racing here as we're coming to the checker flag this time by. Gloves are off at this point. Through the last turn, gonna go down the front straightaway. Can Stowers get that run from the draft? Will Smalling block him? Stowers moves down as they're going down the front straightaway, side by side. Who's gonna get it at the line? It's gonna be Stowers to the win. And wow, what a race to the line. To the win in the sprint race. Just barely grabs it there. What a move. What a move. He was just close enough. That was by .01 is how much that win was in the sprint race. What a battle between those two. That was freaking awesome. That was awesome. So we're going to get a little warm up. We're going to go ahead and pull in a driver, I think. What a move by the number 211 at the end of that one. That was wild. That was wild. Time for a warm up. Man, that was like our Michigan race, how close it was. All right. Let me go ahead and mute everybody in here. So talk to Thomas. Thomas James in the booth. Got a copy?
Woo. Yeah, bud.
Scott, that was some crazy stuff there at the end. That was awesome.
Sorry, Thomas. So what a finish there with you and Smalling there.
Oh my God, my heart is pounding right now. That was a hell of a race. He gave me a ton. Well, we raced each other really clean. Hang on one second. Oh, I had the broadcast playing in the background. Oh my God.
That feedback.
He gave me a ton of room. He put a move on me late in the corner up there in the hairpin. I gave him some room, and he gave me room when I kind of made a silly move and pushed it on the last lap. So he raced it clean the rest of the way off, and I just got a little bit better run than off him, and he almost juked me out. Like, he juked a little left, a little right, like just a little, and I almost lifted. I almost got to the back of him, and great race, man.
Yeah, it definitely looked like there was a little hesitation to make that move, but man, that was great. He was so patient and looked like he was setting up, looking to the outside in one, looking to the outside in one. I was wondering how much of that might have been to keep the heat, keep his tires a little bit cooler, so he was able to make that run late. But man, he got that run. It's hard to protect that run going down the front straightaway, as wide as it is when they get that draft.
Yeah, I think that car positioning, if you look, he's got to make a decision. If you're going to follow me, you got to make a decision going into one. If you're going to put it in there on the very, very bottom, good luck. If you're going to put it around the outside, good luck.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good luck in this race. You're going to be starting 5th, but you grabbed those bonus points for winning this one. So good luck in the main race.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for the broadcast, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be talking to you again.
I need the points.
Thomas with a great run in that race. But give me 1 minute. I will be right back. We got about 2 minutes left to warm up. All right, guys, time for our starting grid. I might end up having to leave you guys, just so you know, here tonight. I got some crazy stuff going on. I'll leave the stream going if I got to talk to somebody. But right now we got Mark Crawford, finished 5th in that sprint race, starting on the pole. Scott Olson starting 2nd. Kevin starting 3rd. Thomas Smalling starting 1st. Thomas Stowers starting 5th. And Marcellus starting 6th. Juan starting 7th, David starting 8th, Justin starting 9th, and Spencer Pete starting 10th. And Bill Sleep and Jasmine are not here, so that'll be our grid here tonight. And as you've seen in that last one, it doesn't take a lot of drivers in here to have a good race. This will be a 30-minute feature here, guys. Now remember that this is how they finished in that sprint race. It's the top 5. was inverted, so 5th on back. Green flag is out as these guys get a big jump. What a jump by Mark on the pole position. He's going to take advantage of that as they dive into 1 and 2. Kevin and Scott side by side. Remember, these fast guys, they got to work their way past these guys, and nobody's going to let them by easy. Through the turns here. First couple turns. Oh, we got one turned around. Looks like Juan got turned around in there as everybody else seems to make it through just fine. Stowers making it around Kevin with Smalling in tow. Got the Thomas train going on. 3rd and 4th. Now they're going to close in on the top 2. Be interesting to see. We just saw 15 minutes of them being patient and racing each other really clean. Let's see what these 30 minutes. We will see what the 30 minutes here. Sorry guys, just got a lot going on. It's just craziness. Got 5 people over on YouTube. What's up, everybody? As Mark Crawford is leading this race solidly, not letting anybody by. Got some good lap times in. But Stowers getting around Olsen, put himself in position for a pass. Smalling's gonna go and tow behind him. Can Smalling get around him quick? As Stowers isn't able to. Scott Olsen fights back hard through that turn, but now they're going down a long straightaway. Oh, and Olsen decides to pit early. These guys are going to have to be careful going in that pit. It could be pretty dangerous. He pits early as there's a mandatory pit stop in this. So we got Mark, Thomas, and Kevin in our lineup right now. As we move back on through, can Marcellus move his way up as he's in the 5th position? So let's see how these guys are reeling in that first place of Crawford. Mark Crawford's got the lead by about a half a second, but the Thomases are definitely closing in on him, about 0.3 of a second. Will Thomas Stowers be patient before he passes him, or is he going to try and pass him right away? He knows any place he can put, any space he can put between him and Smalling, make a big difference, and he jumps out of line, then back in line as they go through the final couple of turns of the lap. Down the long front straightaway. Is he going to get a draft to make the move here? 0.2 of a second. Is he close enough? Or is Smalling going to jump underneath them? Stowers makes the move down into turn 1. Thomas Smalling looked to the high side. Trying to... Oh, they get together. They get together coming out of 1. Mark hit the back end of Stowers. That checks up Smalling. Smalling has to battle Kevin. Wow, what a race here. Mark Crawford back to 2nd. Thomas Smalling back to 4th. Now he's got to work his way back around Kevin. Stowers might have made a bold move there for that big pass. And that might pay dividends as Smalling's got to figure out a way around these guys to get to him. As they're battling for 2nd place, Smalling trying to find a place to dive under. Will he dive under Kevin down the front straightaway? Is he going to be close enough? As Crawford plays defense and exits a little low, Kevin's going to be up next to him. Will these guys get together going into turn 1? Smalling has to be patient. He's faster than both these guys. And Mark gives them both through, almost gets into Smalling. Not really realizing Smalling was right in tow of Mark. You'd almost think there was a tow chain connecting those two there. As Smalling has got to make it around him. As Stowers has gotten a 1.5 second lead. Smalling puts himself in position. Can he dig in that on that leader? Can he get around Kevin? It looks like Kevin lets him around. Knowing he's faster. Smalling's going to dig back in, but Kevin tries to look back. what a race here so far, as third, fourth, or second, third, fourth, and fifth are all right together. And look who's gotten into this one. Marcellus. Marcellus is trying to look underneath Mark to take that fourth position. Smalling now has some open space. Can he dig in on the leader? 24 and a half seconds left in this race. He's got plenty of time. Just make no mistakes. .24 minutes remaining. Smalling is now 2.5 seconds back as he's having to watch his mirror because of Kevin. They are actually losing ground on the leader as Stowers is pulling away. Are we going to talk to Stowers at the end of this one with a W? We're going to find out here in about 24 minutes. Smalling is able to get away from Kevin as Kevin's got to deal with Marcellus. That's going to help. That should help Smalling. But now the draft, he's too far back from the draft. He's just got to straight out drive Stowers and try and find a way to break the draft of these two behind him, because they're battling is definitely going to slow down his time. Marcellus makes a clean move into turn one, and he takes the third spot. Marcellus up to the third spot. That gives Smalling a little bit of a gap, about 6/10 on those guys. Is it enough to break the draft to be able to dig in on Stowers? He's definitely got to break away from those two and not have to battle or worry about him. I'll tell you what, though, this is some great racing as Mark Crawford's trying to work the back end of Kevin right behind these guys. Smalling is definitely pulling away from third, but he isn't gaining on the leader. The leader is still pulling away. Ken Smalling's digging on him. Oh, he gained some time there. Gained some time through that section of the track. Got it down to 2.7 seconds. Now he's got to dig down. Mark's going to catch him. Mark. We got Mark and Marcellus. What, you're talking about Crawford? Crawford? Sorry, if I can say a name right. So Stowers got a clear lead right now. Can these guys do anything with it? Okay, yeah. Well, he's still sitting there. I think he does better as the chaser than the chasee, as I've seen him run really good when he's behind somebody, but it seems like when he's got to play defense, I do it too. I just don't drive as fast. When I got something to dig for, I'm fast. I'm much faster, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Mark gain. I mean, he'd probably like to be right in the middle of these guys right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get a podium finish here tonight. As Kevin looks underneath Marcellus. It's just a different feeling in general, whether you're used to it or not. It's a different feeling in general, being in the lead and having to watch where other people are driving, gaining on you, rather than just chasing the person in front of you. I mean, even if you're second and you got people behind you, you still drive different. Oh, okay. But you still drive different chasing after somebody, because you can forget about the people behind you. But when you're the leader, everybody's behind you and you don't forget about them. That lead is shrinking slightly as Smalling is able to bring it down to about 2.5 seconds. We're going to watch this battle for third, though, between Marcellus, Kevin, and Mark. As Kevin makes a move on Marcellus into turn one. Not a whole lot Marcellus can do to defend it. Will Mark dive underneath him? No, he stays in line. He's just kind of biding his time right now. You know what? It's not a crazy thing to do to let these guys make a mistake, as Marcellus almost dove it right into the back end of Kevin. That was almost a good thing for Mark not making that move, because those two almost got together. Marcellus makes him move back on Kevin. Oh, are they going to... Oh, contact. I think there was slight contact. We're going to go back and take a look at that one. Maybe there wasn't. Maybe it was overdriving. Marcellus looks underneath Kevin. Is there contact? No. No, Kevin just lost it. Overdriving it. Seeing Marcellus digging on the inside. Too easy to do. I thought there was contact at that angle, but that was a good move by Marcellus. And Kevin just kind of goofed himself up. But can Kevin dig in on these guys? As Mark Crawford makes a move. Nope, he falls back in line. Thought about making a move on Marcellus into turn one. Just wasn't close enough to feel comfortable. And like I said before, it's not a bad thing to sit here and ride behind somebody for a while. And he's got the draft. That draft is definitely going to make a difference. And let's not forget, these guys have pit stops to make still. These guys will still have to make a pit stop. Let's go back up to this battle here. Smalling is not gaining anything on our leader. He's actually probably lost a little bit of ground. So right now, everything's kind of stagnant. Everybody's where they're at. So we're going to watch this battle for third as this is heating up, as Mark Crawford is looking to try and get around Marcellus. He's not close enough, I think, to make a move down into turn one. But he's definitely going to get that draft, get pulled up close, and maybe be able to make a move through the hairpin if he's able to carry this momentum through. Oh, he's going to make a move now. He makes a move now. I couldn't believe he was close enough. Maybe not quite close enough because he wasn't able to clear him. But they're going to go through another right-hander. He's in position. No mistakes here. And he takes that spot. Marcellus tries to look back around. Mark takes the spot. Drifts a little high. Marcellus is able to cut underneath him. Marcellus is going to take that third place back. What a battle here as these guys are racing it out nice and clean as Mark crosses him over. Dirt move there. But Marcellus has the position into the next corner. And he's not able to capitalize on it. But he's going to dive underneath him here. He's going to have the position coming out of here and the last turn. But that's going to put Marcellus with the momentum right behind him. Marcellus should be able to make a move going into turn one here. As that draft is going to play a big role. All this. Oh, he blocks him. Mark blocks Marcellus going down the front straightaway. Realizes he shouldn't at this point. But definitely killed Marcellus's momentum. Marcellus takes that third spot back. Great battles here on the track. You know, I don't care if these guys have 10 guys or 20 guys. The racing with these Formula Vs and this group is absolutely amazing. As Mark's able to stay on Marcellus. Now, here's the question. We're going to go up here and look at Smalling. Let's see what this gap has done. It's staying relatively close, but these guys battling behind them, they've lost about 2 seconds over the last couple laps here. 3 seconds on the last couple laps on these leaders, so that's definitely hurting them. But hey, they want a podium just as much as they want a victory. Every position matters. But Marcellus, as we came here for a practice race, I think it was here. Was this a race where Marcellus missed the shift? I can't remember. As Mark makes another move down to the inside. No, he brings it back. Decides it's not the right time to make that move. And he's just going to fall back in line. Look, we got 16 minutes left. When will he make a move? Can these guys just stay in line and catch these leaders? Hopefully we find out soon, as it looks like Justin had an issue. And Kevin had another issue. Let's see what happened with Kevin. Oh, that's an old issue, I think. That's the old issue with Kevin. So let's see what happened to Justin here. Down into turn one. Oh, he just lost the back end. Locks it up, gets moving. Doesn't lose too much ground. That was just one of those little mistakes I say you can't make here. As Justin's having a tough night here. Smalling trying to dig in on the leader. Let's see what that gap is. The gap's about 2. It's staying roughly about the same every lap. Mark Crawford, we missed it, but he moved back into that third spot as Marcellus looks to the outside. Can't get there. He was just trying to get position for that left-hander, and he's all over the back end of Mark. That's allowed Kevin to dig back in and looking at catching these guys. As Marcellus, through the hairpin, takes the third spot back. But Mark tries to cross him over. Will he be able to carry the momentum out of here? Oh, he almost runs him over. They're going to come through the final 2 turns here. He's going to be in position to make a move down the front straightaway. Oh, he lost a little bit of ground there. That's going to hurt him. Can he still make the move into turn 1? He's got a big run on him right now. Definitely picking up that draft. He dives to the inside. Marcellus stays high. Mark should get it going into turn 1, and he does. Will Marcellus try to cross him over? No. He might try and do it here. If he carries too much momentum, no. Marcellus can't get back around him yet, as these guys have been duking it out for third. What a race for third place. What a race. As Marcellus tries to dig it under Mark, has to lock him up. Mark slides high. Marcellus is under him, but that next turn favors Mark. That gives Mark the position. They're going to go down that front straightaway again, guys. That's going to give the draft to Marcellus. Marcellus should be able to get the position going into turn 1. Will Mark try and block him again? That's the big question. As these guys have to be thinking about pit stops soon, as we're 13 minutes left to this race. Marcellus hasn't made a move yet. Is he going to try? He goes to the bottom. He's going to jump underneath Mark in turn 1. Yeah, he's catching him. This is intense already. This is intense already for third. These guys are really duking it out. I mean, it makes you forget that there's even 2 other guys in front of them. These guys really digging in on each other as Stowers and Smalling driving away from the field. That lead seems to be growing for Stowers. So this is where we're going to stay right now. Mark, that's a little squirrely. He's going to try and jump underneath him. Nope, not yet. Yeah, I would have waited too, because that front straightaway, if you just get in front of the person behind you, you're going to lose that position going into turn 1 and 2. Is Mark close enough to make that move? As look who's right behind him by 1.5 seconds, Kevin. Kevin's closing in. Kevin's always fast. Into turn 1 and 2, Mark does not make a move. Mark just staying in line right now, as Kevin is definitely closing. He's within 1.2 seconds of these guys. Mark looking to try and get around Marcellus. Nobody wants to be the first person that Kevin comes up to. Going into the pits. These guys are pitting. Don't make a mistake. All 3 of them pit. All 3. Third, fourth, and fifth. We're going to have a race for third off of pit road, essentially. All 3 of these guys decide to go pit, as Marcellus hits the pit road clearly better than the other 2. Let's see how similar their strategies are here. As Smalling still 2.8 seconds off the leader. This moves Spencer into third, Kevin to fourth. Justin goes in the pits. Scott's going to go ahead and take fifth. Unless Marcellus gets out here soon. Marcellus is done with getting gas. He's going to pull off the pit road. Where are the other 2? Here comes Kevin and Mark. All out the pit road, about the same position, but Marcellus definitely got a bigger jump. He's got about 5 seconds over these guys. That's going to be huge for this battle. So we got Mark and Kevin as they come out racing with Scott Olson. Scott's going to jump underneath Kevin. As now the battle for third is turned into the battle for fourth. As Olsen It's not fourth yet. Pit cycles have to go through still. When will Thomas Stowers and Smalling pit? That's the big question here. Smalling trying to dig in. Well, let's see what pit strategy does here. Who's going to have the better pit strategy? And here comes Stowers in the pit road. Oh, he slides it a little bit. Can't make a mistake here. It's so easy to make a mistake coming onto this pit road. Smalling right behind him. Looks like Smalling gained a ton on him. Maybe coming into the pits. Maybe not as much as I thought. Both the leaders in the pits. That's going to maybe, unless Spencer comes in this time. Spencer stays out. Spencer's going to go out there and lead a lap. And this is a position where essentially Marcellus could gain some ground on these leaders if these leaders don't have a perfect pit stop. Oh, Stowers taking tires. He's taking tires. That might hurt him. Oh, he's out. He's out. Smalling right behind him. I don't know if I would have wanted to take tires here. The tire wear is so minimum. These two are only 1.6 seconds apart. So Smalling was able to gain about a second and a half on our leader through pit stops. Marcellus essentially did gain some ground as he's only 6.5 seconds back, but that's not close enough. And we got Mark and Scott battling, and Kevin battling for fifth. Will that decision to take tires hurt Kevin? I mean, cold tires are definitely not happy here. And the tire wear is so minimal. Will that decision hurt him? It definitely hurt him on pit road as he lost a second and a half to Smalling. But right now he's able to maintain that 1.5 second edge over Smalling as Spencer Pete is making his pit stop. So everything's cycled through. We got Stowers and Smalling first and second again. 1.5 seconds between the two. Marcellus is 7 seconds back. And we got a battle for fifth here as fourth here as Scott tries to look up underneath Mark Crawford. Kevin just kind of sitting behind these guys. So the battle for third has turned into the battle for fourth essentially, as Marcellus was able to get a better pit stop, and Scott Olsen must have, because he's put himself right in the middle of this battle. And we didn't even know. I don't even know where he was earlier. So Olsen has Kevin all over his back end right now. But now he's able to gap him a little bit. Now he's on the back end of Mark. As I watch the battle for the lead, it's down to 1.4 seconds. As these guys are nose to tail down the first straightaway. Will Scott make a move? Is he close enough? Going to turn one, he's not. But he locks the tires up, gets squirrely. That allows Kevin underneath him. Kevin's going to jump under him, try and take the easy position. Scott's caught to the outside. He's kind of got no choice but to fall back in line. Kevin with a good move, just waiting for a mistake. Now he gets to dig in on a Mark. Will Mark make a mistake for him? As Mark sits in the fourth position. Kevin and fifth, and Scott in sixth. To head back to the lead, it's pretty much stabilized. Smalling not able to do anything with Stowers. Marcellus out here in his own little world. He's got 7.5 seconds in front of him and about 6.5 behind him. So he's just got to not make any mistakes. Did you see those guys battling for fourth behind him? That's definitely going to help his argument for the last and final podium position. Marcellus just needs to not make any mistakes here tonight. As Crawford is able to pull away slightly from these guys, he's not taking as much heat as he was earlier. Can he keep it mistake-free? As I say that, Kevin closes a lot on him right there. Kevin looked but that wasn't a passing zone, and Mark slammed the door. Down through the turns, these guys are still nose to tail. As Stowers is pulling away from Smalling in second position. He's now gapped him by almost 1.8 seconds. So that lead is getting bigger, not smaller. And if anything changes, we'll jump back up there as we got 4.5 minutes left of this race. So we should be able to get at least 4 more laps in, if not 5. As the battle for 5th, Scott looking underneath Kevin. Kevin didn't hold him up. That didn't help Mark at all. As Mark's in the 4th position. Now he's got to deal with Scott. Scott's definitely been aggressive here tonight, trying to get a good top 5 finish. Mark digging. He's just digging right there, trying to keep those guys behind him. Able to create a little bit of gap, but through braking, Scott's able to close on him. That lets Mark look, as these guys are nose to tail. Man, they are so close. One little bobble could take all 3 of these guys out. As Scott gets the position to get underneath Mark, Kevin's looking to follow in line as they're going to come down the front straightaway. I don't like that decision to make the pass there, because this is going to allow both these drivers to get the draft, and you're sitting duck, usually going into turn 1. Scott trying to figure out which lane to block. Mark looks to the high side. That's going to cost him a position. Kevin gets around him. So everybody has swapped that 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Scott. Oh, Kevin gets underneath Scott. Scott slides it out. Wow. Everybody's moved around here in just a few turns. So we got Kevin leading this pack. Scott in 5th, and Mark in 6th. Kevin with a great move to go up and take 4th position. Scott's going to try and look back underneath Kevin. He's got to be careful because he's got Mark on his heels. The battle for 4th is definitely intensifying, and the gap for the lead is staying about the same. 2.5 minutes left of this race. Who's going to take 4th is the biggest question right now. And can Smalling close in on the leader? So we got Scott Olsen back to the 4th, but the 3 wide for a split second there as Mark thought better of it. Kevin and Scott side by side. Will these guys take each other out and give Mark Crawford that 4th position as Mark dives back underneath Scott? What a race. I can't even say enough. This is a phenomenal race. Mark's able to steal that spot back from Scott, but Scott's going to jump back underneath him. Mark's back to 6th. He wants that 5th position. He's had a good run here tonight. Can he get it back? Who's going to be the last person to make a change? The gap for the lead is growing again by about 1/10 of a second. So we're going to stay right here on this battle. The leaders should get 2 more laps in. This lap and the next one. There should be 2 laps to go right here. Kevin's got the lead of this group of 4. 4th, 5th, and 6th. As Mark's trying to figure out a place to pass, and when will Scott make a move on Kevin again? It's crunch time. These guys are going to start making some moves that might be questionable. Nose to tail. Kevin. Oh, Mark's going to dive underneath Scott. Nothing there. Kevin in 4th. Scott in 5th. As Mark looks to the outside. And Mark in 6th. Coming around. This should be the last lap here. Should be the last lap. I think the leaders are going to get the checkered flag this time by, as Thomas has clearly got the lead by 2 seconds. Mark looking on the back bumper of Scott. He wants that 5th position. Scott wants the 4th, but Scott's too far back. Mark's going to make the move down to the inside, going into turn 1. He doesn't make it. Oh! Scott shoots it in too high. Throws 5th place away. That puts Mark back up into the 5th position. Will Mark be able to dig in on Kevin? As the checker flag's coming out now. Going to the lead. It's going to be Thomas through the last 2 turns. One last time. Thomas down the front, about to go down the front straightaway. Thomas is going to take the victory here. I think, is that his first victory? Thomas takes the victory. Smalling in second. Marcellus out of the last turn. He's going to take it home third. There's our podium. We're going to go back up to this battle as they come out of the last turn. Mark looking to the outside, looking to the inside, coming down the straightaway. Who's going to get that 4th position? Oh, they almost hit. It's going to be Mark. Or Kevin by a nose. Kevin barely takes it. That was by 0.05 seconds. Wow, what a finish there for 4th. Poor Scott overthrew it. Comes home 6th. Looking for that top 5. Mark Crawford with a solid finish. Coming home 5th. But hey, the story of the day is Stowers. He dominated. He dominated in that number 3 Intimidator Formula V. That good wrench machine. As Mark says, hey, I want to celebrate with you guys. He almost could have been there. Almost could have been there. These guys are going to pull it up on the line here. What a race. Let's see who we got in Discord. Let's see if we can pull in Marcellus. We got Thomas in here. One of the Thomases. There's Marcellus. Let's go ahead and bring in Marcellus. Marcellus, James in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, good solid run. I know you've been looking for one of those all season long. That pit stop was crucial because you guys had a crazy battle going for 3rd place here tonight.
Absolutely, man. He was always better out of that tight hairpin at the end of the track there, and then I think I got a little bit better through that fast right-hander onto the straightaway and into the first turn, but he always caught up with me on that hairpin, so he was right behind me on the straight, and the draft here really works good on that straight, as you could tell probably. So, yeah, that was a great run.
Yeah, it was definitely, and when somebody got the run, I think I watched Mark try and block you the one time. I think it was Mark down the straightaway, and then he just kind of jumped back up because there's no blocking that run when they come at you.
Well, I mean, I have no problem with the driver in front of me changing his line as long as I'm not alongside. He can change his line all he wants. That's fine.
No,
that didn't bother me a bit. Absolutely not.
I figured that didn't bother you. I'm just saying it was almost impossible to block that run, I guess is what I'm saying. Even changing your line, there's just too much. That front straightaway is too wide.
Exactly, because I mean he was coming down quite far on me, and I still had an opportunity to go to the outside too. So, and I mean I'm not saying it's easy to go around the outside in turn 1, but it can be done. I've done it.
Yeah, that was a wild race to watch, and definitely a whole lot of fun. Anybody you want to thank here tonight for that podium finish?
Well, I want to thank all the drivers for showing up and having a great clean race here. I think it was awesome racing tonight. Congrats to both the Thomases and to Mark for having a great clean battle with me. And of course, thank you to you, James, for putting up a great broadcast, man.
I appreciate it, and man, that was a heck of a show to watch. So I appreciate you giving me something to broadcast.
Thank you.
Oh, Mark's brother's in the chat, and he just said Mark photobombed you guys at the end there, coming down the front straightaway when you guys were parking for your victory photos. Oh, that's great. Gotta love that. Let's pull in Smalling. Smalling, James in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, gotcha.
Man, you were fast here tonight, but when you got caught up by everybody in that one checkout, and as Stowers was able to drive away from you, it looked like he just had a little bit too much for you here tonight.
Yeah, after that initial lap, we lost about 2.5 seconds on him, and we were running basically identical laps from that point on. So it was just about getting the right fuel strategy, and I still managed to mess that up. Only gained about a second, but could have done better on that one.
You did gain quite a bit there. I did notice that, but you definitely tried. But it looked like you really needed that draft because the cars and times were so close.
Yeah, we were running so close lap times to each other that the draft was the only way I was able to pass him. So I just didn't get there in time, but still, very good race, and especially in the first heat race, that was a great finish, and he's been racing really clean. So.
Well, anybody you want to thank here tonight?
Thank you for broadcasting it, but also thanks you to the other Thomas. Very fast, and good win from him.
Of course. You guys are always fun to watch, and he told me you guys find each other in a lot of official races, and that's just kind of how you guys run each other. You run each other clean and hard, and the racing's just good. So definitely appreciate the show that you guys gave us during that sprint.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's pull in our winner. Well, you were the better Thomas today.
Man, that was tough. That was two tough races. It took 30, 34 laps, whatever it was, of perfect. And I still managed to make a mistake on pit road. Oof.
Well, I was looking, I was like, oh my God, he's taking tires.
I think I took a tire by mistake. I think I took a left front tire by mistake.
I was like, oh my God, it's going to be so slick for him. But man, good run. I mean, that's the only mistake I've seen you make tonight. I don't even know what to say about your day. As what do you say to somebody who had a perfect night?
Practice. I ran 40 practice yesterday and ran some laps and ran several sprint races throughout the week in official series and knew that positioning on the front stretch was going to be critical if you were, if somebody was right behind you, and that's what played out in the first race. It was a good race with Thomas, though. It was a real good race.
I really felt like getting first was a big deal because when you got first, I think Mark got into you a little bit, but that kind of checked up everybody behind you, and Thomas lost not only third, he lost third and fell back to fourth, and he had been following you. You guys almost went 3 wide going to turn 1. I mean, and you got through there. Mark got into you a little bit. I mean, it wasn't a lot of contact, but that checked him up just enough to slow up Smalling, and really from then on out, your times were so close, he wasn't able to do anything to catch up.
Yeah, honestly, that was some of my best laps, but it just goes to show there's not much room for error in this series. I made what I think was just one mistake on pit road and almost got beat. Thomas got into that mess there in the front where they were mixing it up, and I took advantage of that and built some time, and that little bank of time paid off at the end. And I'm just glad when he came out of the pits he wasn't close enough to get a real draft, or else I would have had my hands full.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that every week mistakes are what can win you or lose you these races, and even Marcellus, he's run so fast at so many of the tracks we've gone to, and one little mistake, whether it's by him or somebody else, has taken him out of contention. So, but yeah, good race here for you tonight. And Justin's just said the same thing. Good race. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, want to thank my wife for letting me race tonight and taking care of the kids. I want to thank Blue Marlin Logistics, my boss, and I think my 2 bosses are both listening. Trident Insurance, Bridge Transport, and thank you for the broadcast. And I'm looking forward to next week too.
Yeah, we were just talking about that the other day about having to thank your wife. I might need to send her something nice because she lets you race all these nice nights with us.
Yeah. I hear a few loud thuds up there, but she seems to have it under control.
Definitely. Well, great race here tonight, and good to have you as always. And I'm sure I'll see you again later.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the broadcast.
Yeah. So that's our winner. Wow, that was some good racing. I mean, it didn't matter what position for. And yes, we are doing the Pro 2 lights at Lanier here tonight. Later on, you guys will see us about, I don't know, 10:45. Sorry, 11:45. We'll go live. But guys, until then, let's go ahead and pull up the finishing grid. Let me do that. I almost forgot. Let's pull up the finishing grid. As that is so many people had a good run here tonight. Thomas finishing first. Thomas Stowers finishing first in that 211. Thomas Smalling in second. Marcellus finishing third. Good strong run for him. Finally put it together. Practice is going to start at 11:15. The broadcast will start at 11:45. Kevin in the 23 finishing fourth. Good run for him. And Mark bringing home fifth. That was such a strong run for Mark. I mean, the battles that Mark showed us today, I mean, he got probably the most TV time. He definitely had a good race here tonight. Scott in the 39 got a little loose, took himself out of that fourth place battle, but what a strong showing for him. Spencer Pete taking home seventh. Justin in eighth. David in ninth. Juan in 10th. And Bill and Jasmine did not start. But man, what a good race here tonight, guys. We're going to go ahead and call it a night for this broadcast. And as always, until next time, be safe and have a good night.